Hi everyone, to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a loaded Greek lentil salad. It's made with hearty and healthy lentils that are packed with protein and so many nutrients and vitamins. We're going to toss it in a zesty vinaigrette. It'll have lots of herbs and so much flavor in it. It's perfect for meal prep because you can make this ahead of time, make a huge batch like I'm making today, and keep it in the fridge. It actually tastes better as it sits in the fridge the next day. Let's get started. Okay, so we're going to begin by cooking the lentils. So I have water in my saucepan and I'll add 2 cups of dried lentils. This is 14 ounces or almost 400 grams. I'm making a really big batch because this keeps well in the fridge for days. To the pot, I'm also going to add 2 bay leaves and 1.5 to 2 teaspoons of salt. Bring this to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, reduce the heat to a low and let this cook until the lentils are tender but not falling apart. These lentils took me 12 minutes to cook and then I drained them through a colander in the sink. I'm gonna let them hang out here for a little bit until they come to room temperature. In the meantime, I'll prepare the remaining ingredients for the salad. So I have an English cucumber that I've peeled. I'm just gonna cut this up into small pieces. You want everything to be bite-sized because the lentils are so small, so everything else should be small, diced up really small too. Next, we're gonna cut the greens. Lots of herbs are going in here. I have about 6-7 scallions that have been washed really well. I'm just gonna thinly slice them all the way down to the white parts. The white parts are really good in the salad. Next, I'm gonna finely chop some mint. It's just a small little bunch of mint. Just go ahead and finely chop that. Then you want a lot of parsley for this. So a big handful of parsley and maybe even more. Finely chop that as well and push it to the side. Next, we're gonna cut some tomatoes up. I'm using grape tomatoes, and the small ones, I'll just cut them in half. The bigger ones, I'll cut them into 3 pieces. And I'll just add the cucumbers, tomatoes, and the scallions in a bowl, leave the herbs to the side while I make the dressing, which is so simple. I have about 1/4 cup of fresh lemon juice, and to it I'll add 1/3 cup of olive oil. You want really good quality Greek olive oil for this. 1 or 2 garlic cloves that are grated, and a teaspoon of dried oregano. Whisk that all up, and the lentils should have cooled down a bit by now. They're still kind of warm, and this is the best time to add the dressing to them so that way they can soak it all up and just get all of that flavor from the dressing. Pour it on top. I like to season them with a little bit of salt, and I also like to add a little bit of red wine vinegar. Lentils go so well with vinegar, so splash a little bit of that on top, and if it looks like they need some more olive oil, you could drizzle some olive oil on top, toss everything all up, and then wait until they've cooled down to at least room temperature. Once they do, add all of the remaining ingredients, the cucumbers and the scallions and all of the herbs. Everything gets tossed together, give it a taste, and if it needs a little more salt at this point, you can add it, and that's it. Now we're just going to transfer it to a serving platter. You can drizzle a little bit more oil on top. You could arrange some olives and feta cheese on top of it, and it's ready to serve. I did garnish it with some feta cheese just around the edges, just the tiniest bit. We're gonna keep this healthy. Well, feta cheese, I never said it was unhealthy, but we're just gonna keep it a little bit on the healthier and lighter side. So I just put some feta, just a little bit around the edges, and some olives too, because they go together with the salad. You can add your favorite things to this. You can add as many vegetables to this as you like. Roasted red peppers, fresh bell peppers go really well in this. If you finely chop celery, that'll add some freshness, more herbs. It's just so good. Time for the taste test. Delicious. Perfect if you want to bring it to a picnic too. It's so fresh. I can really taste the mint in there. The parsley, it just makes it so nice and bright. The lentils cooked perfectly. Be careful when you're boiling lentils because if you take it even 2-3 minutes too long, they will melt. So I'm using regular green lentils, but if you have the French lentils that are smaller and take a little bit longer to cook, but they hold their shape, those are even better in the salad. If you're not using those, green lentils are fine. Just be careful not to overcook them. Start checking them at the 10-minute mark. Mine took exactly 12 minutes to cook. So good. You can garnish this with a little bit more olive oil when you're serving it, and just toast up some bread. If you're serving this as a side, you can serve it alongside fish or chicken. It tastes good with everything, but it also tastes delicious on its own. I hope you guys give this recipe a try. You can print it out on dimitrasdishes.com. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I'll see you all next time. Yes,